Welcome back to the exciting stream we have. The game number 4 on our hands is a rematch. A rematch of a rematch, actually. Reciprocity going against 100 Thieves. And of course, I'm joined by Ben, the best analyst that Call of Duty may have ever had. So Ben, do you have any predictions for the series? Any fun facts you'd like to share?
I sure do. Yeah, this is a fun fact that we were talking about before the game started. This is going to be 100 Thieves coming out, blowing Reciprocity out the water in my mind. Why? We've already seen this happen once, right? You go back to Fort Worth, but it was a bit of a twist in the tale for 100 Thieves. They weren't using their full squad. Now, all of a sudden, I think when push comes to shove, with 100 Thieves in the current form that they're in, feeling as confident as they are, Chance, Reciprocity don't stand a chance.
Right, so like the more detailed version, they played at Vegas, 100 Thieves wins. Granted, both teams with a different roster. They get the rematch. The problem is for 100 Thieves, you have to play with Pharaoh on as short as notice as possible. But even then, the maps were incredibly close. Like one of the hard points, 100 Thieves lost 234 to 250. The other one was 217. So they're losing 20 to 40 point games playing with a sub on 0 days notice. And if you're keeping it close, you have to imagine like that's one of the biggest what ifs we have maybe ever had in an event, right?
I mean,
like if Preset doesn't vomit in the middle of a search and destroy,
right?
Which they won that search and destroy, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
what ends up happening?
To be fair, he went, what, vomited at 4-0, I think it was, 5-0, maybe?
I think he got a double kill with a grass slam and puked on the screen.
And just puked. It was, wasn't pretty, that's for sure. Feel sorry for the refs that had to clean that one up. But either way, for me, 100 Thieves coming in, I feel like the run of form they have, they're going to be so confident because it's bittersweet almost, right? Because you speak to the players and you're like, all right, well, you know, after Fort Worth, how do you actually feel? And you would expect a lot of it to be frustration, a lot of it to be like, oh, well, you know, we could have won. What if? But really, the reality is, well, we just now know how good we are against the best teams in the world.
And like, okay, but there's obviously two things at play. Like 100 Thieves, if you go down the line, like hardpoint records, 9-4 for 100 Thieves, 8-8 for Reciprocity, obvious edge to 100 Thieves. Then you go to the search and destroy, 7-2 for 100 Thieves, 11-5 for Reciprocity, so good on both sides, but honestly, 100 Thieves maybe a little bit better. And then the control, what, 3-6 for Reciprocity, not really great. Like, it's okay, I guess, but no, 3-6, you're not happy with it. And then for 100 Thieves, 4-4. So they have the edge straight down the line. The thing that Reciprocity has is magic. They just have that magic game 5. Like, if it gets there, they were hyper clutch. They're making big plays. They never, like, it was incredible the run that Reciprocity was able to put together. It really was.
That was the thing. I said 3-0, but in reality, April Fools, it's us, and it's Reciprocity. It's the magical sandwich for a game 5 combination. That's for sure. Hardpoint Gridlock, game number 1. In terms of the series, I saw you glancing down towards your notes, but Hardpoint Arsenal is in the series as well. And that's one where we kind of talked a little bit about earlier on in the day, Chance, where we were just kind of saying, oh, it'd be great if we could really do some hardcore analysis on how they played that third hill, how they played Jet. Because it's just, it's so good to watch the way 100 Thieves do it. It seems like they get a money hill every single time you watch them play.
I mean, like, almost without a doubt, at that tournament, they were the best third team, Arsenal. Like, it's a super specific thing, but they were unreal at it. Like, if you get the stats, they had to have scored 90% of, like, the total possible points on that hill against every single team that they played. And one thing that they do is Kenny actually pulls out an ICR. He goes and plays behind the Jet. You get the nice lockdown, get a guy in the back. Like, their setup on it is great. And so for the side of Reciprocity, I was even talking to Paradox about this. For one, what map did they ban to allow this through? Well, they took down Hacienda, so I think they're getting rid of a map that they don't like rather than taking down their opponent's best, would be my guess. And maybe they have a game plan for it. Should we even get to map number 4? They have a game plan cooked up to try to deal with 100 Thieves, but it's a little bit fishy.
Okay. We'll see how the series goes. Hopefully some more competitive maps than the last one, because it wasn't very close really whatsoever outside of maybe map 1. But we start on a hardpoint Gridlock as our game 1, 100 Thieves versus Reciprocity, the first day of cross-divisional play for our teams for this week. And then of course a couple of week break, and then over to CWL London, where maybe 100 Thieves can try and get that first championship under their belt. But we start here. Gridlock hardpoint on board with Slasher.
Of course, this opening hill, ICR's reigned king for the coverage over top. Shawnee wins the first gunfight with him, but of course, Octane's there and kind of respond. You got chaos all over the place. And well, who's able to come out on top? It's going to be Reciprocity. And I will say on this map specifically, we saw it what? In like the losers finals, Reciprocity wins and Zed dropped 5 kills on the entire map. So Reciprocity is definitely good at gridlocking. If Zed could just double his score, you have to imagine Rec might be feeling good for it.
2 kills throughout the entirety until the final moments where the grab slam came through. The most important hill. So credit to Zed, within the first 15 seconds or so, he's already managed to match that tally, and well, there's one more for him. So a better performance from him. Tommy already with a streak though, a 5-0 start from him. You make a great point. And there was a map that Rec would feel comfortable on. You'd assume it'd be this, based off what was essentially a 4 versus 5 performance at Fort Worth.
I mean, we're definitely getting ahead of ourselves, but you talk about an 8-8 record. You talk about the one map you give the edge to 100 Thieves on. It's a little bit back and forth, you know, but either way, nearly full streak out is Tommy because he's hunting for one more. Only has, what, 3 bullets left in the clip, but he's got a fist. Can't even pick the gun off the ground. He's just looking for ammo.
That's 3 shot punches if he plays it right.
I feel, you know.
3 more kills.
Just Tommy thinks.
Well, he has found himself a little bit of ammo, and for 100 Thieves, a little bit of problems starting to develop. Nade available for Tommy, but he wants to try and use it. Doesn't necessarily need to. Tommy is frying, and he hasn't done just yet. One more almost. 10-1 start, and a little bit of information for you here, Chance, which may surprise you. I believe, after speaking to Reciprocity's coach, Shane, Tommy's controller broke today. He's using a brand new controller. I'm honestly not sure what he's using. I think he might even be using a default controller, and he's 10-1.
I just got word from, who is it, Shane? He is going to buy a new controller for every single map that they play in case that's just what it takes. Because if it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. And all the streaks in the world for Tommy. He's calling the lightning in here. I assume he's going to save the Hillstorm for the first hill, but he's completely wiped the board. Kenny, though, is going to get pinched. He reads it on Dylan, actually does a nice job, and, well, now all the pressure is going to be coming in from one side, and Kenny trying to do everything he can. He's able to get another, and it takes his teammate to take him down.
Finally, 100 Thieves get a little bit of control and can start earning a couple of points. I was going to say, remember when I said, let's hope for some competitive games? Well, it didn't look like this was going to be one of them. Finally, though, 100 Thieves getting some points on the board, and more importantly here, Chance controlling the spawns, and that's really in part through to Kenny mid-map, who was trying to lock things down, had the assist of Priest. The problem is Dylan gets the double and also pushes straight through. So you have one more little skirmish here to decide who will control the back spawns for the final hill of the first rotation. Luskin hunting. Priester finds him first, though. So a mini advantage to 100 Thieves, even though the spawns in their favor momentarily. Zed not able to find one. Meanwhile, it's Tommy who was in the hill. Gets his war machine, and hey, you may invest it just super early just because you're 16-5. You're going to get it again, definitely.
And honestly, just a systematic string of events right there for 100 Thieves to make sure you get the back spawns. Of course, Zed, though, is going on the pinch. He's able to take down Octane, so, of course, 100 Thieves players are going to be spawning, well, actually right behind Zed. And that's kind of worst case scenario. Zed ends up getting dropped, so he tried to make the play. The spawns, though, not in his favor. And 100 Thieves have climbed their way back into this game. Of course, the Hellstorm is going to be pretty devastating potentially for the next hill, but either way, with how bad of a start it was, 100 Thieves will be very happy with their success on this hill.
Say, considering how it started, 100 Thieves going to be happy just with the point score and just how small the deficit is compared to what it really could have been. And also had an investment of Tommy's lightning strike, let's not forget, that was used, and they were still able to turn the hill, but it was used on P3 into their favor in terms of the swing of points. But early on, advantage Reciprocity, and you can expect if this hill is lost at any point, Hellstorm could just rain in from above and give Reciprocity a little bit of relief.
Honestly, I would have assumed he called in straight away, but apparently you don't need to. Dylan just doing everything he can to take down the trophy system, and there you see why, because Tommy had the war machine out, able to connect with just one. Now you're on the front side. He's winning the gunfights as well. He gets traded. And now it's just Priest by himself inside the hill. But he doesn't get traded out for the moment. Eventually, Luskin drops him. 100 Thieves trying to get those back spawns.
And I was going to say, this is what's super important. Watch the red arrows on this rotation, because this is where Reciprocity just blew 100 Thieves out the water in the first rotation. And if you are 100 Thieves, you have to put more pressure on the backside of the map early. But you can see what Reciprocity are doing in tune. 2 players all the way at the back, comfortable, waiting for the push to come, reading the push very well, one of which is Shawnee, but it's Priester in post, trying to be annoying. Slasher throws out the nade. He's going to have 2 players flying towards him, doesn't even find the first. That leaves it all down to Kenny, who is close to some streaks, by the way. 295, teammate there to assist. He'd love to take that fight with the Maddox as he goes 195 away. A kill and the points for the hill put him so close.
Of course, now he's getting pinched in from every which direction. He makes the read, but doesn't win the gunfight. It's basically stuck on an island by himself, and now 100 Thieves. Well, 40 seconds left on this hill. You get one more crack at it. It's not going to be fun to get there, because keep in mind, pretty much every single second the last time around did go the way of Reciprocity. So you got Priest trying to work his way through a post, but again, he's just so far away. You started at 40, 15 seconds are gone. 100 Thieves finally able to begin a contest. Now you got to win the gunfights. A couple go your way, because the Naval picks up 2. And while you do get on through, the break is in. They mitigated some damage, and well, now you just have to win a rotation as well.
Of course, Priest with Graph Slam could put that to some good use. The score 151 to 133. As the hill will rotate on 131 as they hop off the final few scrap, but Priest winning some big gunfights. Zed uses his Graph Slam. Does Priest want to respond with his? No, not just yet. Shawnee does find the picks as Reciprocity going to get the early time.
Oh my god, some of these gunfights that these players are winning with Sogs and flying forward. Priest has had a few. Zed gets one there that are just insane, but either way, the speed and aggression paying off for Reciprocity. Back inside the hill, trying to extend this lead as much as possible. And keep in mind, they still have the Hellstorm should we make it back towards the first hill, which is essentially just guaranteed points for them. So 100 Thieves on this hill and the next really have to do a nice job to at least get this close to a tied game. But Wuskin pulling out the fires, only able to pick up 1. But it might be good enough to keep 100 Thieves at bay, because Zed has a little bit of help, but Enable is inside. 100 Thieves fighting for these last 12 seconds.
It's almost a full 60 from Reciprocity, and they have spawns for new. They're going to be very, very happy with how that hill developed and ended. 185, 144. This was the hill they really struggled on, however. And obviously, you'd love for Tommy to be able to save that Hellstorm for mid-map, but the problem is 100 Thieves are flowing straight through, and now they'll be blocking the spawns and also have the spawns as well, as Zed is forced to try and take a massively unfavorable 1v2. Can't escape. 100 Thieves break through, and 100 Thieves get control.
And I think the situation is what? If Reciprocity breaks in this hill in the next maybe like 15 seconds, they're going to be in a great spot for the game, but they have to make the break. It comes around back. Shawnee on the flank, able to pick up 1. His teammates are there. All the kills going their way, and well, you might as well. 100 Thieves, a hole to dig themselves out of. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen in and see what they can do.
Backdoor. Quick. Backdoor got me.
I'm here.
Nice. Go up, Mel. Are you on the new?
What's hole me?
No. I'm going top power. They're going to be
on the new left. Shawnee.
Yeah, 2 hole, guys. 2 hole.
I got one.
Stay
alive.
alive.
I'm punching more hole. You have grabs?
Yeah.
Alright, wait. Trying to help. They're going to spawn.
Hold on, I'm spawn deep. I'm in the back. Come on, I'm about to grab this.
Left side. Top power.
Last week.
Under press. Top power. On the best. Top power.
Last side. Top broken.
One shot.
Close right.
I need
Hellstorm.
Spread out. Wave in. One shot dead.
Nice. I'll get it.
There's one there side coming in the hill right now.
I'm hole.
I spawn back left.
I'm waiting for you guys.
I'm looking left. Left Shawnee. Watch out on hill, Shawnee.
Left. Dead.
Hole. Left side Eddie, weak. Yo, two guys hold. Left side Eddie,
Shawnee on.
Left side. Stay on. I have your right. Come rep.
Close.
You slid to the right, weak.
Close dead.
They needed the right.
Weak on hill. 2 weak on hill.
Weak on hill.
He's out. Nice.
One shot.
I've crashed. Alright.
Go around the right.
I
think they're rotating.
About to start going in front.
Someone still play for. One might be home.
They can be on milk.
Stop, guys.
Top weak, guys. Top weak.
Shawnee side 18.
Yes, qualify.
Yeah, one's in front right on me.
One's on the press. I stun him.
Shawnee one side 18.
100 Thieves may get the scrap time, but they don't have the rotation. Reciprocity ready and awaiting. They can win it here. 225, 192. 100 Thieves, they have maybe 1-2 pushes maximum to break through, and that's a hell of a start. 4 players go down. He's down to Shawnee at the back of the map just to buy time, wait for his teammates off spawn, and Slasher isn't even going to give him time. All of Reciprocity drop.
And they spawn so far out. That is just a hike to try to make the break, and you're getting like spawn killed essentially. You got players pushed up into broken. You got Kenny and Slasher have been watching the flank for 15 seconds, and then, oh, here they are. Should be easy kills. Zed able to stay alive, and Tommy with the trade. But either way, you talk about making this a game. 100 Thieves, they just got to hold on this hill for a couple more seconds. You guarantee to send it to next. They've at least done that, and honestly, they might be able to get some more time. But Wuskins is a couple kills, but their job is done. It all comes down to this next hill.
And now it's essentially going to be, a 4 versus 1. It's all down to Priest. A couple of plays in front of him. There's Wuskin. He will drop the War Machine out for Tommy. That's going to find at least 1. Should find the second if luck goes his way. But 100 Thieves is going to get in the hill. 248. to almost 49. Octane springs into life. Pre-fire for 2. Octane down but not out. Now it's the Tempest turn. 100 Thieves making the comeback and could close it out here.
You run through the door, you might get chained. There's going to be 2 players near. You can't afford to get hit, and you got to deal with Slasher and Enable. 100 Thieves, all the kills going their way, but the break might be in. Reciprocity, get one more move. Trying to break on through. 2 seconds, all they need. The kills are here. Octane in the hill. The Tempest connects. Gets one, but the trades are there. Priest on top. Him and Slasher get the kills. 100 Thieves from the depths of hell make the comeback and go up 1-0 in the series. Ben, just like you predicted.
And that is a game 1 you are going to be thrilled about if you are 100 Thieves. And if you're Tommy and Reciprocity, you're going to be asking, how did we let that step away from us? It felt like everything was going their way. On P2, this is a quick replay of really the final moments of the game. 20 seconds left, the contest comes through. It means, as you pointed out beautifully, Rec can't win it here. So then it was the rotation that came through while the fight for scraps still went on. Bear in mind, Reciprocity got a lot of that time, 2:38. I mean, at this point, you're thinking, it's game, it's done.
It's so hectic as well. Like, you got players just like sliding into war machines trying to make the break. Octane goes on the flank and never pulls out the Tempest either. I think we've seen a lot of times you pull out the Tempest in like a hyperactive situation. You don't get a great use out of it, but you feel like panicked. He stays relaxed, stays calm, gets the gunfights with the ICR, and then when it's the perfect situation, players have to flood in from one specific direction. Then he has the Tempest, and granted misses a couple shots, but his teammates are picking up kills left and right, and then when it comes down to it, he hits the one he needs, and then his teammates are there for the reinforcements.
On the painful part of all of that, Dylan left the second to last hill 2 seconds early.
Did he actually?
Yep, and it's not as if he had any effect on the rotation because he got naded at mid-cut as well. Whilst you guys digest that, Jess caught up with Priesta before the game happened.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, that's right. And Priesta says he is feeling better after throwing up at Fort Worth, and he's glad to be back here at the Pro League. He said this match in particular, this first match, is huge for momentum, but also added that I think the words he used were, we never lose full composure. He said that one of the things that 100 Thieves is so good at is coming back even after a loss, like they did last time they were here at the Pro League. So he's kind of hoping to either start off strong or, you know, like I said, be able to regain composure. And over on the side of Reciprocity, I caught up with Shawnee. He's very excited for this rematch, and one of the things he pointed out was, I'm really excited to see what can happen when we're playing versus the full 100 Thieves roster. He felt that at Fort Worth they still would have taken the series versus 100 Thieves, even had they had Priesta on their side, but now he's really excited to kind of prove that. And he also added that Dylan is a great addition to Reciprocity, saying that the roles just weren't correct before, but you know, everything's looking a lot better now. So let's see how the rest of the series goes. Ben and Chance, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Jess. And obviously, you hear the players there saying, well, we're going to prove to you that, you know, we beat them with a sub, but we'll beat them with the full 5. Game 1 doesn't go their way.
And it was a close one. I think even what Priest is saying, we don't lose full composure, and that's a game where you find yourself down by 60, 70, 80 points. You're in a big hole, but I think even like that second hill is the first time around Reciprocity gets all the time in the world. Then the next time they get 30 seconds, eventually 100 Thieves breaks through. Then the third time, 100 Thieves, they make the break quick. So they made improvements as time goes on. You win a nice little 250, 249. You're feeling a little bit better going into map number 2.
You most definitely are. All the momentum, all the confidence with them. As we now head over towards a search and destroy on Arsenal. And this is one where, you know, realistically, I think if you're Reciprocity, you rested and relied so heavily on those search and destroys, so heavily. You know, winning as many game 5s as you basically could. You have to win here. As Reciprocity getting everything ready for that game 2. Of course, Coach Shane on the stage for Reciprocity, a veteran, former European professional player himself, played on some of the biggest stages. Great to have him behind the Reciprocity boys, and after a game like that, I'm sure that's one of those where he kind of comes on, doesn't really say much about the game itself, more so, all right, let's forget about that short-term memory. Let's talk about game 2. What's our game plan? What are we going to achieve here in game 2?
What was map number 2? Or it says at the top, Arsenal up top? Okay. I was going to say, like, make sure you give Tommy a new controller, but apparently that didn't even make a difference towards the end because 100 Thieves go clutch. And
tell you what would make a difference. I'm plugging Octane's controller. That might help.
And Kenny's, like...
Might be classed as cheating, though, so probably not the best idea.
I think that's why most people would be so confident in this 100 Thieves team. Because even though they get like the unfortunate Priest of Puke and yada, 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 you still had a tournament where Kenny stepped up massively, right? Like Kenny looked like a god. He looked like that World War II form. And more importantly, Octane was even better. So you have your superstar players elevating that form. In Priest to Puke aside, even if he wasn't quite as good as he had been, it's because he didn't need to be. It's because his teammates stepped up. You already know what he can do because we've seen it in the Pro League. He can be a superstar. And now you got like what, Slasher, a guy that's like barely getting recognition as like not being the superstar player. That's a great player to have to not be getting recognition. Like 100 Thieves, it seems like now's the time where they're starting to click. They figured everything out. But of course, you still got to get past Reciprocity. You still got a lot of work cut out for you.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, that's all. Have they finally reached that championship caliber form? And let's not forget, just to think big picture here, roster lock for London, late Friday night. You need a good performance here, otherwise could potentially see some switches.
I mean, I think it's no one in the league is safe. Like, I can't think of a single team that if certain players become available, wouldn't be willing to make a switch. I think every single player is fighting for themselves. Well, almost every single player. There's a couple guys that are certainly going to be locked in. But either way, a lot of time off the clock. 100 Thieves just waiting for a first blood. And, well, there is a player behind Jet. I think Kenny eventually is going to challenge out for the kill. He's waiting for it, knows it's there. First blood the way 100 Thieves, but only 27 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of time has been ticked off the clock. Finally, the A-site control goes in 100 Thieves' favor. Meanwhile, Priest are on the B side of the map. He's in a 1v2. He's made it a 1v1 and escaped with his life. And he's essentially left Wuskin chasing a shadow. He's going to be nowhere near a trade. And, well, now a 1v3. This is not going to happen. 100 Thieves should comfortably be able to close out this round.
Killed the trophy, so now he's going to get it right. No, can't even heal. They're just going to fly out, challenge out. Try to give the kill to the right guy or make sure everyone can get a bullet in so you get some extra points. But that is 100 Thieves being incredibly patient, waiting to get the first blood. Octane knows there's a player behind Jet, and Kenny takes his time, doesn't rush into things, but he gets the first blood, and Priest is making plays. Everyone starts making plays, Ben, and they get that round win.
Sure do. Simple one, even though it got a little late into the round, I will say, Chance. A little late indeed. And as soon as Kenny opens up the site, Bomb instantly goes down, and it puts a lot of pressure on the players rotating for B, and they're just not able to deal with Priest's presence. So advantage 100 Thieves. They go onto the defensive side now. Octane still with the sniper rifle out, as does Tommy. Not going to see too much sniper on sniper fight at the beginning, at least, because they're both on either side of the map.
Kenny, though, just going to turn and run, and he's actually playing the spot to not get picked from the sniper. He's in the other corner, and now he's got teammates wrapped back to come help him out, and it's Octane trying to snipe on snipe. He's able to hit Shawnee, connects with a headshot. That's going to slow the push down just a little bit. He's going to be looking for anything else he can find and able to take down the either bomb planner or a guy trying to play a sneaky spot.
5v3. Here's the court. Octane caught. Tommy gets the better of him this time. 3v3. Shots going down. The trade's in 100 Thieves' favor, or are they? Dylan in the 1v2. Slasher gets the double. 100 Thieves. 2 in a row.
Getting a little bit dicey. Of course, you have the 5v3, and then Tommy hits a shot. Your player gets picked off mid, and it's, oh dear, someone's got to go big, but Slasher does exactly that. Tommy trying to bait himself out for his teammates, but when all is said and done, Dylan had 2 players he needed to kill, and, well, if he had an extra bullet, maybe would have been able to pull something off, but 100 Thieves up 2-0.
And it's funny, just to go back a couple of months ago, the vibes in the 100 Thieves camp, oh, how different things are now. It looked as if they didn't want to play with each other. It looked as if they hated each other. Now, though, smiles in the 100 Thieves camp. Such a contrast from what we saw towards the start of the season. And, I mean, they're playing with confidence as well, which is what you simply love to see. You don't love to see that, though. If you're a 100 Thieves fan, and definitely not that either. Tommy with the double. He can be so potent with the sniper rifle. And hell, why not 3? Give him the ace. Give him the ace.
Poor Octane. He's just sitting there like, oh no, I got to challenge this now. And
everyone's dead.
Not a snipe fight he wants to have to take in that situation. 2 players cutting through. Tommy spots them both. Get a collateral. End the round. Get the ace.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Feed it to Tommy. Dylan, don't even get these kills. Feed it to Tommy.
Both still alive, so possible for the Tommy ace. He's a little worried about back steps, and rightfully so, but 100 Thieves have wrapped over towards B. The problem is they don't have bomb. It's over towards the A site. Tommy's done a good enough job of locking that down. And he's going to see that as well, I believe. But Zed and Dylan, the two Sorgs, close things out in round number 2.
Honestly, just nice systematic sniper shots, right? You get the first shot, which was disgusting on Kenny, and then the next two were honestly just predicting. So there's the filthy one. Here's the read on the guy to try to get some movement. Slasher, there you go. Octane turns and runs as fast as he can, and, well, Tommy just makes the read. That's the spot Octane snipes from. A lot of times off the opening rip, Tommy expects him to be there towards the end, and impressive stuff.
It's worth mentioning, Frogday, he didn't really have much time to adjust. He blinked and everyone was dead. He was like, oh, Tommy sniped. Oh, no, it killed me as well. Very quick 3 kills for Tommy with the sniper rifle, and it gives Reciprocity their first round.
That new controller, man. Started handing me your teammates.
Crazy, right?
Toss them everywhere around.
Well, he's going to spot a lot of players crossing. Octane. Going to see if he can connect with a couple, but teammates does the job for him. 4v3, advantage 100 Thieves.
Now just don't peek Tommy, and you should be good to go. Octane's got the left side locked down.
Like
you
that.
peek Tommy, and honestly, you didn't even really peek him, but you give him just a small moment. He's been hitting his shots quite well. The cluster grenade over top might at least force players down, and now you got Wuskins, the perfect timing. Slasher, that's a free kill, and the cluster means no one from 100 Thieves could help out Slasher. So honestly, just good plays. Now Wuskins spotting information.
Tommy's in such a good position to get the bomb down and potentially get some streaks. The problem is he was forced off the bomb as it was made a 2v2. He's now pushing, but both players are there. Shorty will make it a 1v1. Pre-fire is enough. Kenny and Octane both fall. Reciprocity tied up.
Those are good plays. Those are good plays all over the place. You got the cluster nade backing players down from back steps, which means Slasher's by himself, the perfect time for Wuskin to go on the flank. Then you have this where Tommy just gets, double challenged, and then Shawnee just pre-fires it. He just expects the challenge to come out because 3 health. 3 health is all he had. He had one single play to make, and he made it. So good job from both teams.
Very good job indeed.
But better job from Reciprocity and Shawnee.
Good pre-fire from him, 2-2. Reciprocity look to tie up the series here after going 1-0 down in a nail-biting game number 1. Goes all the way down to the wire, 250-249. Tommy runs into a wild Kenny. Pre-fires, gets first blood, advantage 100 Thieves. Priester will make it a 2-man advantage. And Kenny, well, doesn't even need to assist Priester, as this round is pretty much all in favor of 100 Thieves, or is it? Dylan slows down the push with a double nade. But a 1v3 for Shawnee is surely too much of a task to bite off. 1v2 for now, and there's a nade sailing over towards him. Have to reposition with the ICR as well. This is going to be tough if he has to take any close gunfights.
Of course, he thinks Enable might still be on bomb. Maybe has that information now, but of course the double challenge comes in, and there was no hope. There was never any hope unless 100 Thieves over challenges, but very nice round, just hyper-aggressive, flood down gun. As soon as you take the sniper down, you know you have free clearance to just sprint forward. And of course, that's the first guy that falls. So as soon as Kenny wins that first gunfight, it is just full steam ahead. Priest doesn't even need to wait for his teammates. He'll just do it himself.
Just fly straight forward. It makes it a very straightforward round. 100 Thieves back with the advantage, 3-2. Reciprocity. Just a little bit back to the drawing board. They'll be on the attacking side this round. I believe it's going to be Zed with bomb. And you can see a bit of a split comes through on the opening strat. Pressure over towards B, pressure mid-map, and Tommy actually just fly straight through.
He does so, double challenge. That TAC 5 coming in so clutch to keep Enable alive. Of course, he eventually does fall, but man advantage still the way of 100 Thieves. That bomb going to get planted. Wuskins is in a bit of a delicate situation, getting challenged from both angles. I don't even know if he can heal, whether or not that stim shot's back up, but he should be good to go now. 3v3 when all is said and done. Wuskins doing everything he can to stay alive, finally gets taken down, but that bomb is down. Now all of a sudden Octane's by himself, and Wuskins might just be the man, and Shawnee letting him know. 2 kills off to seal the deal.
It's ironic because the play really for me that round came from the quietest man on the team there. Wuskin was shot by what felt like 4 different people, escaped, admittedly died, but he did trade out at least 1 kill onto Enable that round. But still, the fact he was able to stay alive caused such a problem. Throughout all of that chaos, bomb of course goes down amongst a lot of other things. Great play from Wuskin.
Johnny actually killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, he did.
Not even the final 2. There's quite a few more, but It's kind of interesting is what? Luskin's got made one shot from the guy through the back door, stays alive. Then you got a guy on jet, makes him maybe not one shot, but fairly weak, stays alive. Then you got a comes in for the pinch. You have all of 100 Thieves trying to triangulate his position, and they do. It just takes so long, and then you're in a bad spot. But either way, back to some potential sniper wars. Nothing cooking for Tommy, but that means his teammates can just push all the way up.
Oh, Slasher. One health and a dream. Luckily, he does escape with his life. What's going to put a lot of shuts down on the Priest that can't connect with the kill. Problem for Rec is that B bomb site right now, chance, is wide open. You have Tommy rotating through the backside. Meanwhile, a big flank starting to develop. Octane's read it very well. Stayed alive for how long as he searches for the second. Won't find it. 4v4. Of course, attack 5 boost in, so for Reciprocity, a bit of extra health.
Yeah, Tommy's going to run. That's everybody challenging. Can he finish one? He does the shot punch, though. Not going to come in, but he might have done his job just to get the clearance, because now you got Zed on bomb defusing. And honestly, I was thinking just stick it. No one's coming on the flank, but you don't have the man advantage. He's able to kill one. Kenny up top. You got a 2v1 for 100 Thieves, and Slasher is there. I thought for a moment that 100 Thieves, when they pushed out Tommy, that they gave up the good positioning, but then they just stormed right back through, wasting no time. So appropriate calls coming out from the Thieves.
Pre-fire from Slasher was enough, and Zed on bomb, not enough. As 100 Thieves just fly straight over towards him. Slasher with the best play, just finding that final pick is, again, advantage 100 Thieves. Give them a one-round cushion. And considering the last series, how much of a blowout pretty much every map was, chance. This one, pretty much the polar opposite. Very, very close so far.
It's just an entire map a good place. From both teams, back and forth, as a team, individuals. Nutty stuff so far. Octane electing to deploy the sniper, but the information's there. I could hear it calling it out. Guys, there, eh? Please come help me.
Help, please. Quickly would be good. And we can see one player. Number 8, it's Tommy. We mentioned Island Search and Destroy players a lot. He is definitely one that comes to mind. You can see he's really just waiting to flank the flank. And he's going to get the information, and he should spring into life relatively soon. In fact, he's going to push straight through mid-map, and now he's going to try and flank 100 Thieves from their own spawn side, and they're not going to expect this at all. It's a 2v4, so realistically the play isn't going to mean much. There's one, and there's the round.
And I think what Priesta got caught while lying there, swapping weapons, is what it looked like when we switched to his perspective. He just had his fist out for a moment, so he gets shot for free, and then that means your teammates in the back are in a bad spot as well. So nice job for Reciprocity to responding to the double flank and full speed ahead. Had the full setup that they wanted and made it look easy.
Full fault. Yeah, easy-ish. Well, he tied up. 4-4, back and forth, search and destroy. Oh, Octane go back out towards that sniper rifle. He obviously put it away last round. In terms of his individual stats, 5 and 7. Not exactly playing poorly. It's Kenny leading the way, though, in terms of the kills. 8 and 6. Priester right behind him at 7 and 7. For Reciprocity, 8 and 5 Shawnee. 8 and 6 Dylan, a 7 and 6 Tommy. Tommy having a pretty solid series thus far, but down 0-1. Need to tie things up here. Octane peeking over towards the B site. And he's got a lot of information there on a lot of players. How is that going to change the push, though?
Well, the problem for is they just cut through mid and right back to their spawn, and I think you might know why, because the vision pulse comes out. But I think Octane was calling out, guys, they're flanking, they're in our base, so you pop the vision pulse in a panic, but nobody's home. So they all retreat back. This vision pulse is going to be gone fairly soon, but Tommy is able to get killed. They're trying to rotate back. I would have been thinking, hey, maybe wait for it to wear off a little bit, but they try to force the gunfights, and, well, Priesta just does Priesta things.
Yeah, and that still has his grab slam, which realistically we don't really want to see him use here, because this is a round which they are going to win. Kenny with a team kill on the Priesta at the very end. Doesn't matter. Advantage 100 Thieves again. They put themselves at map point.
And I'll just say, I just don't like that. Like, you get vision pulse, I think, what, 2 ticks have already gone by the time you start taking these gunfights. Like, just give the plant up for free. Like, it's still going to be in a tough spot. Like, you don't want to give the bomb up. But I feel like in that situation, you almost just have to, because Priesta, again, just makes it look easy.
I mean, it is easy when you know where the team are. Just
that's true.
As much as he did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, big advantage in those fights, and he uses it perfectly. One more round for 100 Thieves to go 2-0 up in the series. Reciprocity have to go back-to-back now. Just to keep this one close, but Priestess grab slam is the big worry if you're a Rec fan. A massive massive worry, and here's why. Only finds one. Rec a little lucky. Zed was the only one pushing forward there.
Of course, now Rec, they don't have options. That bomb is down. You will have to go pick it up at some point. If you want to go for a flank, that means time is not going to be on your side. So looks like they are going to be trying to make a play, but Slasher's here and waiting. They have all their bases covered. He even got Kenny over by B, and, well, Slasher spots out the information. Kenny's going right back, spots one player on the cross, knows more here, and here's the War Machine. Keep that door open, kill everyone, or at least slow them down. And again, Reciprocity just now able to go get that bomb. 38 seconds.
To their credit, they have snuck through. Tempest is also out here. 100 Thieves. Need to be careful they don't get connected by that. It's Dylan who's trying to go for the elaborate shot. And Octane may respond with a Tempest of his own. I think Dylan respects that a little bit. Pushes back. Octane still hasn't called it in as maybe Dylan. No luck with the Tempest. 4v4. 27 seconds left. The push comes through. War Machine is out. Dylan with one. The trade comes through. Tommy with another. Now down to enable. Oh, you sneaky, sneaky man. There's one. Can you find a second? Snaps, but doesn't connect. Tommy knows Octane isn't on bomb, and this is one the veteran is going to see through to time. We're going to round 11.
Couldn't ask for it to be any closer. A 1-point game in Hardpoint are going to a round 11 in the Search and Destroy, which means it has to come down to a 1v1 in the final seconds to make it.
Who would be your ideal 1v1?
I think in this series, what, maybe, I guess Tommy versus Octane, right? Yeah, the sniper battle early. I know Kenny, I think, might have the most kills, but those have been kind of the two heavy hitters.
That was the 1v1 we just got.
The 1v1 we just got. Have a repeat. Exact same situation, but opposite.
Maybe a little more time as well.
No. Exact same amount of time.
Yeah?
Yeah, give them 10 seconds to find that one kill. To hunt him down.
You're a savage. I'd much prefer 50 seconds or so.
50?
Yeah.
After the bomb is down?
No. Just 50 seconds in the round. Let it play out, just in a 1v1.
Well, no, but they have to plant the bomb, and then it comes to 1v1.
Just give me 50 seconds.
All right, whatever. Well, we got a minute and 20 so far, so.
And importantly here, Zed with Grab Slam. Could try and put this to bed. Kenny's going to have to back away. And you have to worry about the Grab Slam, but is it going to be a bit of bait? Reciprocity, not afraid of rotating. With Bomb, not afraid to really work the map. Utilize as much time as possible. I mean, we saw it early on. What they planted the bomb with, I think it was like 12 seconds left in the round.
And they also, well, 100 Thieves last time kind of gave up pressure over towards A. Now you're throwing out nades to slow players down. It's going to connect, and you got the Tempest out as well to get a second player down. That's over in Dark. Slasher, of course, though, with the first blood. And now Reciprocity, honestly, might just be a little bit pinned back. You got to get through the Tempest. Octane checking everything repeatedly. The Grass Lane only able to find one. Trades are there. Nade is there. Tempest is there. I wanted a 1v1. Give it a 1v9. Kenny with the final kill. 100 Thieves, by the skin of their teeth, are now comfortably up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, 1 point Hardpoint, 1 round Search. They find themselves 2-0 up, and it was unfortunate for Zed. He had to Grab Slam. You don't want to die there without using it. The problem was he had bomb anyway, so even if his teammates had followed up those gunfights, it would have been tough to retrieve. Reciprocity down, but not out. A great series to close out day one of this week's cross-divisional play. It's been unbelievably close, 250-249 Hardpoint on Gridlock, and a round 11 Search. We'll be back after this with, hopefully, a round 5 Control. 100 Thieves 2-0 up against Reciprocity. But boy, oh boy, this has been a close one, Chance.
We just had the largest blowout of a Game 5 series you could have for both directions at times. Optic Gaming obviously got the win, and now we might have the closest 3-0 of all time. Got that 1-point game in the hard point. You got the round 11, which granted the round 11, 100 Thieves won pretty convincingly. Fair. Obviously, they had a lot going their way. But now this might just be another round 5. Comes down to capping the final hard point in the last second, whatever it might be. Well, 100 Thieves poised up to get the 3-0.
Definitely are. All that stands in their way is, of course, this control map coming up next. It's going to be tough based off what we've seen so far, but here's a look at the rest of the maps. Obviously, we mentioned earlier on we haven't seen a Seaside hardpoint in a while. Well, we finally get a Seaside control, which, if you remember, was a bit of a pocket pick, a speciality of Reciprocity. They have a lot of interesting strats around Tommy, playing on a little bit of an island in there, but then Game 4, Arsenal, and a Game 5, Frequency.
I think the last 2 times I've seen Reciprocity play Seaside control, they've lost, though.
Oh.
Like, I think we talked about, like, the pocket pick of, like, hey, what a cruel strat, and then, like, works cool for a moment, and then you lose the game anyway. Like, all the pocket strats you have are great for, like, openings, cool. Maybe for a hill, and it looks great. And I love talking about strategy, but you do have to get the win in the end. And, well, I mean, what is it? 100 Thieves, control was their best game mode for a while. Back at Fort Worth, it was actually their worst, but still 4-4 in that mode. And then Reciprocity were 3-6. So, again, edge, not convincing blowout, but edge to 100 Thieves.
Seaside?
Yeah, it was the worst game mode at Fort Worth. It's because they were really good at everything else.
Really good at everything else?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, a 3-0 would be a nice way to start your week, especially a 3-0 in this fashion. Again, to reiterate, a 1-point round 11 search. What will we get here? Well, Tommy, off through barrels. Are we going to see the exact same thing? We are. So what you're going to see here is Reciprocity wait a very, very long time before they push B. They're going to bait out the rotation. Tommy's going to call it, and then they're going to push back. Do 100 Thieves know it, though? Me and Chance know it. They know. Well, there's the pressure over towards A, and in comes the pressure towards B. Just like that, Chance.
Well, now the question is how do you handle the potential 4v5? Granted, 100 Thieves very scattered. A couple players cutting through mid. Dylan's there. Dylan's gone. Wuskin gone. Tommy's off respawn, but now he's just hanging out with Shawnee. You don't get anything over towards that.
And this is basically our exact conversation before the map started. Well, they have some nice pocket picks, and you go, well, they don't always work out. There's a prime example. A cute opening start, if you will, but they find themselves down 4 lives with no progression towards either zone.
Of course, now Priest are rocking the fast mags on the Maddox, which I actually really like. I think fast mags is underrated on every gun. I think I want it on the SOG as well, but just something to keep in mind. He might even be flip-flopping. It might have just been off the opening break that he wants that, but either way, Reciprocity, nothing cooking on offense. You're down 8 lives. You're on the wrong side of the map, essentially, because you're not towards either point, and they start to get over towards A, and they're just getting cut down, and Abel just sitting here, L-triggered, waiting for it, and if he's not getting the kills, then Octane is 28-16. Then I think 100 Thieves might be able to just pull off this round number 1. Just maybe.
Wow, G Chance. That's bold.
I like to make the wild predictions, you know?
The question is anyone going to get close to streaks and able to last one alive? There's 2. That's unfortunate. Octane shot him in the back off streaks, but Octane close to streaks himself. The 1v1, not going to be won. And Reciprocity survive, but probably not for long. 22-8 seconds, round 1 over.
I love talking about strategy, Ben.
Yeah.
What a great opening break. I think the first time we saw Reciprocity try that, Tommy doesn't cut through church. He goes all the way around, and it just takes forever. And I think, again, you see the opportunities there, because even though he loses, like, if he wins the gunfight, it might be a little bit easier. But then he falls. His teammates essentially have to fight a 4v5, and 100 Thieves, they just win the gunfights there. And now you don't have map positioning. You don't have any ticks. You have nothing to show for it. So a slight variation in strategy. But sometimes maybe just flooding the hill. Why be strategic when you can just flood? Enable 6-0, by the way. No, his teammate shot him in the back, actually. So I guess, yeah, the streaks do get shut down.
It's still 6-0, though.
That's true.
I guess. Before Octane just decided.
Thanks for team killing, man. Helping out the KD. I like it.
Yeah, right. Well, the opening break already underway, and pretty much is round 1. It's continued through all 100 Thieves. a 3 life advantage. First take will go into B, and Abel feeling confident. I would feel confident too if I had the ICR Slasher right behind me. As they push through, they find 3 kills, and Abel just didn't stop running, really. He just kept on going until he found his way all the way to the Reciprocity spawn. Finally, he fell, and whilst all that was going on, they've only now just got the second tick into B.
It really was like the perfect bait, non-stop, just double baiting for double ICRs. Octane barely able to stay alive, but alive he is for the moment. Like now, of course, you got Enable inside the hill, and you got, again, Enable just baiting for everyone. He is struggling to finish these kills, but he is involved with seemingly every single one of them.
I'd be curious to see his EKIAs right now, right? 6 kills, but probably like 20 EKIAs. He's just running straight through the ultimate bait, and it's working out very, very well. Just a prime example of stats don't always kind of tell the true story, the big picture. Kenny in a little fight over towards the church stairs. They're going to find the pick onto Wuskin. It's a 19-12 life advantage. Starting to think that the game 1 and game 2 being so close, we might not see that here in game 3, Chance.
I mean, we've been just watching from Hunter Thieves' perspective for the longest time.
Because they're
exactly
the only
why.
ones
Because yeah, they've just been getting all the kills. Like Reciprocity are just struggling for air. Finally, they're able to get 3 down, so they get a little bit of breathing room. But still just being suffocated for the moment. They got to deal with Slasher in their base. They're sending 2 to try to hunt him down. Zed is going to get caught out between 2 players, and eventually they find Slasher. And they get Priest as well, so again, doing a little bit of a good job. They were down by, I think, 7 kills, now only down by 5, now make it 4, as Kenny gets shredded.
Problem for 100 Thieves is they've lost a lot of map control now. You still have 60 seconds, so it only takes 1 wipe, and all of a sudden, Reciprocity will be in some trouble. Wuskin calling frantically for some assistance. He knows the pressure that's coming in. There's a player from Rec actually behind Octane. That's Tommy. Finds the pick. The advantage in lives down to 2. Back up to 3 as Priester shuts down Zed. They have all the control over Reciprocity's base, but none over the actual A zone just yet.
And they know. Well, obviously now that they shot him, but they know Zed's down here. Priesta able to take him down. You got to be worried about spawn kills. Then, of course, where do you spawn? Well, still right in the back. You're worried about Priesta. You're worried about the hill. Everything. And Priesta, well, doesn't go for the spawn kills. He goes to help his teammates. Finds 2. Stays alive. Gets nice and healthy. Of course, that fast mag, that's the instant reload. He is ready for gunfight after gunfight. Dylan, though, able to pick up 2. But you got a 6v none. And 100 Thieves going up 2-0 in round count. And towards the end, a convincing one at that.
All right, got a little close. When it looked like Reciprocity were going to fight back a few moments. About 30 seconds or so, they shrunk together where they reduced a massive deficit all the way back down to about 2. And then, well, this happened. Priester running through everybody. What's going to be in one shot there helps, but, I mean, this is why you wanted this man on this team. Moments just like that.
And not only is he disgusting, but he's also a smart young man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that fast mags, I think, what's the codling? That's the wave, Ben.
Wave?
Yeah, throw fast mags on, like everything. Enable, by the way, 15 EKIA.
Thanks, Paradox.
For the 8 kills.
Appreciate
So
that.
not bad at all.
Basically double, essentially. So, Enable playing very well. Now, is it going to be another Reciprocity special? Well, it's special. I don't think I've seen this one before, though. 4 players fly through barrels. Meanwhile, Tommy stays mid-map. Here's the push. Enable with 1. Enable with 2. Enable with 3! I don't remember the last time I saw Enable play this well. It's been a while, that's for sure. You'd be maybe going all the way down to the Advanced Warfare days, but he is frying right now.
Oh, I didn't even see the 3rd guy, by the way, Tempest. Who's that going to chain to? The
that's-
whole lobby except for 1.
No, even Tommy got chained.
Yeah, Tommy eventually, but honestly, that's not too bad. 4 players get chained, only 1 player's fall, so out of things that are going well, that's one of them. Of course, everything else that's going well, it's on the side of 100 Thieves. You got Enable that has just wrapped all the way around as his teammates are dying. He's not able to finish the kill.
You play him well. Don't know about that.
That's not the easiest shots in the world.
Well, ambitious. But he's gone back to spawn kill. And, well, he will die himself. 22-22, finally Rec with some progression into B. Priester hits mid-steps. Almost got himself 2. Well, finally falling, and this could be the 3rd tick.
Can you imagine how annoyed Octane's going to be when you have that life advantage? You get 4 players chained, and you can only get 1 kill.
It's frustrating.
And now Reciprocity is actually starting to pave the way to maybe bounce back. Granted, they have their work cut out for them, but in a pretty good spot. 1.5 minutes. You got a bit of a life advantage as well. And got a little bit of clearance. Wuskin inside, just gonna fall.
I mean, if Zach can get streaks, that's going to be massive.
He doesn't.
Oh, that's tough.
And a team kill.
It's even worse. Tommy's still alive, though. War Machine available. Pressure in towards the zone. And Tommy's actually going to invest the War Machine here. We'll find just one. 175 away from streaks. He's anticipating the push, which isn't going to come. I believe a trophy rattle off in the background. So, sit away. ICR back out. Oh, sorry, over to the Maddox. 50 points for streaks. One more, all he needs. He's hunting. He knows the points could be enough as well as the War Machine from 100 Thieves comes out. He gets the lightning and a tick into A. Still a 2-life advantage.
And you might have to use it straight away, but they're inside church. You got to deal with the grab slam. Dylan's done with that so far. 1 tick gone, 3-life lead. Tommy is going to use the lightning to try to kill the players in the back. No spawn kills coming in. They're all stacked in church. This is when you make your move. Wuskin and Shawnee working together. Side door is the only thing open. It's Priesta who is sitting on that grab slam and enable well. He's going to flank himself. And Priesta, no, make it enable. He gets the 3 as well. 2 3-pieces in a single round.
And there's the grab slam. Priesta wanted to close it out here. It's 4v4. It's a big investment. Vision used as well. 40 seconds on the clock for 2 ticks of B.
Reciprocity are running straight away. They know they have time to work with. You might be able to just play it like it's TDM. Just try to find some kills. But 100 Thieves, they got a lot of, well, they got all their bases covered, except for barrel side. It's the one thing they've left open, but that's exactly what Enable's going to watch. It's where they're expecting the pressure to be. The stun's going to check it and connects. Now they should know where at least 1, if not 2 players are.
This could be it. Kenny with the opening pick. Enable staying alive, has the assistance. Kenny with 2. It's a 2v4. It's a 1v3. It's over. Just like I predicted, Chance. 100 Thieves with a 3-0 dispatch of Reciprocity. They played once with a sub and played twice without a sub. How different the final score is.
And really just a team that has been incredible, non-stop. I mean, the 2 losses they had, like they were 2-1 in pools and ended up in losers, and then just went on a massive tear. And I think everything's going right. Individual player performances, everyone kicking it up a notch, making big plays. Your search and destroy looks clean, even for the round 11 clutches. The setup they even had on that seaside control was very good as well. You give up barrels, you play passive, expect them to try to flank, you get Kenny for the help. Like, they're doing a lot of little things right. They're a team that is very well put together, and not only the roster move that they made, but honestly, I have to imagine Crowder as a coach is helpful as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen him in a coaching role a couple of times throughout his career, an analyst role, a player, world champ. The man has really done it all, and I do think the extra experience he's going to give, because I know the players respect him a lot as well, and that always helps from a coaching perspective. But 100 Thieves come out, and I think that's really now going to set the tone for the rest of their week. I can see those results just really start to spiral in, and again, you go back to what we saw at Fort Worth. Priesta feeling under the weather. They have to play with a sub. The what ifs. Could they have won? The players, could we have won? That was a question that was being asked. And you get ready for London now. It's a very, very scary 100 Thieves squad, that is for sure. And I believe we have Jess with our PlayStation Instant Reaction with Octane.
Thank you, Ben. What a crazy game. Like you were saying, we had 2 maps in there that just came down to the last point. Yeah.
Literally the last point, yeah. First map, to be honest, I thought we lost, because I was the last one alive in the hill, and then I died, and I was fully expecting to see defeat, but somehow we won it, so that's always wonderful. And then second map, we had a couple of choked rounds that could have been like a 6-3 or 6-4, but luckily we ended up winning that one too, and then control was pretty comfortable.
How does that feel to come in, rematch versus Reciprocity, but win it 3-0 this time?
I mean, I guess it's revenge, if that's what you want to call it, but I mean, a win's a win. There's no bad blood or animosity or anything, so.
So going forward, Priesta talked to me a little bit about kind of the importance of momentum in the Pro League. So how does this set the stage for the rest of the week?
I mean, a win out the gate is always great, especially a 3-0 win, although it was close. I mean, we took momentum from losers bracket in Fort Worth and took it all the way to Sunday. So if we do that in the Pro League, then who knows what could happen.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. For now, back on over to my casting duo, Katie, at the desk.
Thank you very much, Jess. And Octane said it might not exactly be revenge, but they did manage to take down Reciprocity after losing to them at Fort Worth. And a 3-0 Nameless, that's got to be exactly how you wanted to start your week.
Absolutely. And those first two maps, they were nail biters, got down to the very end.
250, 249 on that.
Yeah, it was just such a close game. And then, it's just the little things, kind of what Chance was talking about. Like, all those little setups they had, even at the very end, you saw they organized that setup. They covered all their lanes, and they were able to execute those trades. And then on here, it was actually crazy that they were able to come out here with this win because they were down going into that ambulance hill. They get in there, they get a decent amount of points, and they get to the point where Reciprocity can't win on it. And they rotate over here, they get inside, and I really thought Rec was going to get back in and get these 2 points. When he pulls out this Tempest, he misses a ton of shots, but his teammates are going to be able to get in there and help him out a little bit. I think he picks up 1 kill, which is going to alleviate a little bit of that pressure. But on this rotation, in my opinion, it really was Priesta who stayed alive, picked up a kill, and bought a lot of time for his teammates to get in there and get set up.
On this map, for me, 100 Thieves, I felt like the rotation from 3rd hill to 4th hill, which is broken, they just dominated that entire hill because in the beginning of the game, it was like 98 to like 9, something like that. But it all came down to that 3rd hill, the 4th hill rotation, and they just absolutely held the 60, was able to pick up some streaks. Going into the middle hill, they were down like 10 points. Obviously, from that point on, it was just going back and forth. And somehow, some way, 100 Thieves was able to pull out an insane hardpoint win.
Man, this was like the closest 3-0. Even that 3rd map, even though it was a 3-0 control score, other than the first round, which is a blowout towards the 100 Thieves, the next 2 rounds were still very close.
Yeah.
Everything in this game was just like down to like those minute details. Could have switched this winner for sure.
And I think you were saying it just felt like a very long 3-0.
Yeah, it definitely was very long. It's because they went all to the very end of the game. And that's what you get when you get, 2 teams that got top 4 that were both playing amazing and have been working on their issues. And you got 100 Thieves. They get Priesta back, who honestly played pretty good throughout the series as well. Octane, for me, though, was just that guy on this team, just going off, especially on that first map. It was really just him versus Tommy. And what he said in that interview, how this could have been 6-3, and I think the reason he's saying that is because there was a lot of rounds where they had like a 2v1, and the last 2 guys would die in succession like super fast. It happened twice, I believe. So I think that's sort of what he's alluding to there. But overall, they're able to clutch up, and a lot of those gunfights near the bomb site got a little bit scrappy. But that's what happens when both teams are so good at trading out. It's just whoever is going to win that last gunfight.
But even Study, we asked, at Fort Worth, Reciprocity showed up. Would they show up here? And it certainly seems like they did.
Oh, they definitely showed up. You're losing 250 to 249, 6-5 in the S&D. You just pull out one of those, and you should be fine. Obviously, going into the control, it's their worst game mode. They had a 3-6 record on it. And 100 Thieves is one of their best game modes. So just overall, it just came down to those clutch maps, at least the first 2. You lose by 1 point, you lose by 1 round. Just overall, if you just change 1 play probably out of the game, you're able to pull that out, and it'll be a completely different series.
So, Nameless, outside of, say an Octane or a Priesta, was there anyone else on 100 T you noticed stepping up? Or
I just think the overall team effort was amazing. Like I said, even that last setup in the control, like when they were pushing, trying to get control of the map, spawn killing, like they just played amazing throughout. I think everybody knows their role on this team, and Ben and Chance talking about Enable a little bit. They're like, we haven't seen him get a 3-piece in a while, and he's comfortable in his role on this roster. So it's nice to see everybody kind of doing their job and getting these wins.
All right, we want to talk now about our Astro MVP candidate for today, and it has to be none other than Optic Gaming's Dashy, putting up absolutely unreal numbers. Props to him.
Yeah, he had one of the best maps we've seen so far in Black Ops 4, and that frequency hardpoint. He was an absolute animal. It's completely flipped the series on its head when it looked like it was at a point where E6 looked super strong.
He's just unstoppable.
Yeah, and Dashy just had one of those maps where it's just like, I'm going to show you why I'm one of the best players in the world, if not the best.
Yeah, I remember we were sitting in the back, and Benson told me that the Tempest didn't chain to anyone anymore. And then I watched Dashy use it, and he was still doing his thing with it.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure why Benson said that.
Yeah, neither do I. Had to be an April Fool's kind of thing, but it's all good.
That was a debut, right? Like coming back, having to go off and be like, yo, I'm the best still. Like that was his thing right there. Just going off in that match is what he needed for his first Pro League match, and he did just that.
And Pac, I think we highlighted it before too, but Dashy having, of course, one of the best games you can have. But again, the likes of Scump and Karma on certain maps definitely pulling their weight.
Scump also stepped it up on that map 4, and then Karma on map 5 started out 10-1. I think he finished 10-2, but he was making all the plays necessary to win the map, and he was shooting everyone in the back. And like those kind of plays, you don't need to win gunfights if you're outsmarting your opponent. It's actually better to be outsmarting your opponent for the entire map as opposed to just world starring them, I guess you'd say, around the map. Just outplaying them is just demoralizing, because they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. Now, coming off of that win, Nameless, tomorrow Optic does start off against Denial. So if you're Denial, what are you thinking going into that?
I play our game. Denial has been, they've been taking teams to the limit. Like at the event, they didn't play bad by any means. They could have taken out Splice. I honestly thought Denial should have beat Splice in that game 5 from Fort Worth. They had a few mistakes where, they ended up choking it, but just play their game, right? Like Optic looked pretty beatable today, and if Denial play at their top and Optic play just like that, Denial should have a good chance of taking the win.
You think they'll be able to study?
I doubt it, but they have a chance.
Yeah, I doubt it. Just for the simple fact that it's just a consistency on the side of Denial for me. You have players like Nat Shea who didn't have a really good series today versus Gen G. And just overall, obviously you're going up against Dashy. The guy's starting 17-1 in the map, and you also have multiple champions on the side of Optic. It's going to be hard for the Denial team to beat them.
Let's look now at our schedule again. We did just say Optic and Denial coming up, but there's also Reciprocity and E6, 100T versus Midnight. I mean, some of these Rec and E6 pack, I'm not sure if I can necessarily say who might come out on top.
Me either. I mean, if we're going to base this off Fort Worth and today, I'd still probably lean towards Rec, even though they didn't win a map. They played a really good team today, and they fought them really well. If they can close out that map 1, you never know how the rest of the series finishes. Rec has, I believe, a higher ceiling than E6, but it wouldn't shock me at all if E6 came out and won.
Well, Nameless, even on the side of that later match, 100T and Midnight, I think we weren't quite expecting what we were going to see from Midnight.
I 100% favor 100T. Shout out down in my mind. I favor them.
Nothing they could do.
I agree with him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think that's.
It's just done already.
I think it's the most lopsided matchup of tomorrow. I mean, obviously, Midnight has talented players that can come out and just play amazing. But like 100 Thieves look incredible in that match right there, going up against another very solid team, and it looks like they fixed some of their issues even from the event. And Midnight, they still look like they have a lot of things to work out. I just think it's 2 different levels.
All right. Let's look at our PlayStation damage dealt
Dashy
leaderboard. Shocker. Oh, Dashy.
Donnie's 10th?
Ooh.
Whoa. Wait, you're starting off 17-1. There's no way you expect anyone else but Dashy to be at